tapping in, man. Welcome back to the channel. NBA legends explain what a killer Tom Chamber was. All right, man, let's hop straight into it, man. So look, I don't really know too much about Tom Chambers. I do know he's a white guy that can get buckets. You feel me? I know he played with Charles Barkley, Kevin Johnson over there in Phoenix, and they made that finals run, and then they ran into MJ, and it just went left. But they said my boy can hoop, man. Let's see what some of the NBA legends had to say about Tom Chambers, man. Before we hop into it, though, like the video. Show your boy Groovy some love. Comment down below any videos y'all want me to check out next. And last but not least, if you watching this video, why the hell you not subscribed? You tripping. But anyways, let's hop into the vid.
Climbing. And I just remember thinking this is a guy that's 6'9", 6'10", but he
Damn,
moves
knee
so
to the
agile.
chest?
African-American kids,
Good
we always feel
God.
that white men can't jump. First time I seen a white guy dunk and really throw it down was when Tom Chambers put his knee on Mark Jackson.
Damn. Ain't no way in hell.
Hey guys, this is Dominique Wilkins.
Hey, this is Sean Kemp.
Man, shout out to Basketball Time Machine too, man.
NBA fans, what's up?
But it's big.
Here.
Hey, what's up? This is Matt Barnes. If you're an old school NBA fan like I am, make sure you check out the Basketball Time Machine with my man Sean David.
Hey guys, welcome back to the Basketball Time Machine. My name is Sean David. Welcome back to your weekly dose of old school NBA basketball. In today's episode, I finally give some props to one of the players who is one of the unsung heroes, one of those guys who were incredibly gifted, sensational players, but nobody talks about them. Even I kinda did not talk about the great Tom Chambers. Unfortunately, there are not too many clips about this guy, but I still pasted a hopefully interesting video about the great Tom Chambers.
All right.
Let's have a look.
Let's see what he's talking about. My boy said we sleeping on Tom Chambers. Let's go.
Now the first player's opinion that we're going to take a look at is from Isaiah Thomas, the great bad boy Piston legend. And he has a lot of praise, and rightfully so, for Tom.
Now I want to introduce another guy by the name of Tom Chambers that you probably never heard of.
Let me see the accolades. 4-time All-Star, 2-time All-NBA, 1987 All-Star MVP, and 20,000 career points. That's a lot of buckets. That's a lot of buckets.
Chambers, he's smoking, folks.
Watch out for Chambers. There it is.
He played for the Supersonics too. Okay.
Tom Chambers, 6'10", unbelievable
Damn, 6'10"?
jumper, leaper, shoot it from the perimeter, tough. Now here's where I'm gonna really mess you up. Long blonde hair, pretty blue eyes,
Oh, wow.
walk out on the floor, drafted from Utah. I remember I'm in Detroit. I'm playing with the Pistons, and I'll never forget, you know, it's me, John Long, Terry Tyler. We're at the foul line, and John Long is really giving it to Tom Chambers. Like, you know, he's talking to him and everything, and he's telling him he's soft and all this other stuff, and just listening to John Long go at Chambers.
What'd he say?
And all of a sudden, Chambers looked down at John, and he said something to John that I can't repeat on this camera. But all of us stepped back and was like, whoa, okay.
So he was about it, all right.
And Tom Chambers proceeded to give it to us.
Damn.
Mark Jackson.
Bro, his head is above the rim. What the hell? He was jumping like that, yo. Why y'all ain't tell me
One of the
about
best plays I've
Tom?
seen was when Tom Chambers played for Phoenix. I remember Tom Chambers dribbling up on the break almost like a 2-on-1, and I remember him taking off on 2 feet.
Ooh,
And
he
when
was
took
floating
off,
in the
his knee
air.
hit,
Good
Mark
God.
Jackson in the middle of the chest, almost elevating him even more to have him climbing. And I just remember thinking
Look.
this is a guy that's 6'9", 6'10", but he moves so agile like a gazelle or like a little fella. And he's gliding, and he's basically looking right into the rim. And it's not a charge or anything else. It's just one of the hardest dunks. And plus, Tom Chambers, to me, is one of my favorite dunkers because he would dunk on you backwards and look smooth and do anything in there. If you look how far he took off, he's almost at the free throw line in the game off the dribble. So you know he could come to the free throw line pretty easy and dunk. And it's with 2 hands. So that's one of the sickest dunks I've ever seen. And that's why little fellas need to stay out the paint when a big man coming through.
Oakley smacking Chambers. Threw it away. 2-on-1.
TJ to Chambers. Jam! Oh, boy.
Man, he was up there. He
I was a
was
rookie
up
with the
there.
Suns when Chambers dunked over Mark Jackson, and what made
Damn,
that
that was
dunk
Mark
amazing
Jackson?
is that he literally put his knee on Mark's shoulder and elevated about another foot. It was like a pole vaulting.
It was one of those things where I really didn't have time to try and stop and go around him. I had to just try and get myself to the rim, so I was able to do that.
What
and,
the hell? This nigga look like a psychology teacher. Like, wow, this man like a country singer or something. Like,
and literally jumped over Mark Jackson. He tried to protect himself and maybe gave me even a little bit more
Yo,
of a push,
Tom
'cause I know I
Chambers,
had
he
to
do not look like
kinda
no
duck
hooper,
to not hit my
man. He
head
can hoop,
when
though.
I was coming down from that dunk.
Mark Jackson's thinking, I'm going to show my coach here that I'm a team guy. Let's take a knee in the stomach for my team, and we're going the other way. And you go, whoa! Where's that guy going?
You know, a lot of great dunks get
Wait, damn, he got
posterized
a
and
little
made onto,
statue?
printed on a piece of paper, but this one was such a good one thanks to the Phoenix Suns. They bronzed it for me. Thanks to Mark Jackson and the Phoenix Suns, this one will be looked at for a long time.
damn, he be dunking on niggas like that.
And once he's up in the air, he
Bro,
goes
once he
way
get that
over
knee
the
in your
head of
chest,
Robert
it's
Reed
raps.
and crams it through.
In Seattle, they had kind of a glutton of forwards. You know, with Derek McKee and Xavier Daniel and Sean Kemp was coming, and there was a bunch of forwards there and kind of a log jam. And I felt one of us had to go, and I wasn't going to be the one that got traded to Cleveland.
At the appropriate time at midnight, that call was made when it was legal to do so. We had a meeting set up for very early the next morning.
The interesting part about it is I knew Paul Westphal. I'd worked his camp down here, him and Alvin's camp. We had the same agent, Howard Slusher.
Paul Westphal and Cotton and myself went over to meet.
Besides those three guys, I just loved what the Suns were doing the year before. I mean, they made the trade halfway through the season. You know, Kevin Johnson was playing great. I love the speed of the game. I love the fact that they're just going to go up and down and score a bunch of points, which I wanted to do. And mostly it was they wanted me.
We were all sitting around the pool talking for a little bit. The phone is ringing. Slusher's phone is ringing, and teams are calling, trying to set up appointments. And, you know, I sensed we had to take care of this pretty quickly.
You know, Jerry's one of those guys that gets to the point real quick, and he made an offer, and even Howard kind of had to say, let's go talk, you know.
Here's the deal, and you've got 15 minutes to make a decision, or I'm out.
He said basically, you know, you have 15 minutes to make your mind because if it's not going to be you, it's going to be somebody else. There was other big guys out there. There was Danny Shays, and there was, I think, Concac or somebody.
So I went back to the pool. 5 minutes or 10 minutes later, he came back and he said, you got yourself a forward.
Chambers out on the three-point stripe, puts it on the floor, takes it to the hoop.
You taking folks off the dribble, stay there.
Jerry's
Go
one of those,
Chambers.
he's like the Godfather. I mean, you just, whatever he says comes out of his mouth, you believe it's going to happen, and pretty much does. You know?
Let's go.
You know,
We
the
got
only
traded
thing I
to the
remember from the
Suns.
press conference is how high-waisted my Wrangler jeans were, and my pink shirt and my cowboy boots.
Right to the hoop, stuffs it with the left hand.
Nah, he can
They couldn't
jump.
match up with Tom, and he just had a fantastic year and really put together 5 years before Charles came where he was the man.
The greatest thing about Tom was how competitive he is. This might be a bad thing or a good thing, but I've seen, you know, he used to get in fights in practice. That was Tom. He's just very competitive, and it was fun to see a guy that has been
You
in
want
the
a
league
fierce
for
guy
that
like
long,
that on your
who's
team,
that
though,
driven
man.
to be so good.
Shows that they really
You know,
care.
people can talk
Wanna
about
win.
Kevin Durant, which is a great player, Dirk, you know, some really, really good players. But Tom was the first of that type, you know, 6'10",
6'10", can
6'11",
stretch the
can
floor.
run up and down the court, can shoot, athletic, can pass, can play defense when he wanted to.
Tom
He said
Chambers
when he
is one of the
wanted to.
highest jumping guys I've ever
Damn,
seen.
hold up. This nigga went reverse baseline jam?
He wanted to.
Tom
Hold up.
Chambers was one of the highest jumping
Big
guys I've ever
on
seen
Larry,
in my life.
too.
White, black, blue, green, purple, I don't care what color. I mean, I've watched this guy take off and just sit on people's neck. And Tom Chambers was a guy
Damn, Mark Jackson.
like Larry
Hey.
Nance at 6'9", 6'10", who was fluid, who was mobile, who could shoot the ball outside, who was athletic as
And he
anybody
had
else
the
in the
burner
league.
on him.
And he was just a tough matchup.
That's right. Tom is one of the unheralded players of the NBA. He was a dominant player on the offensive end of the floor at 6'10". He could run the floor with the best of them. and he could finish around the basket.
I still don't know why Tom's not in the Hall of Fame. That to me makes no freaking sense.
Tom is one of the greatest players to play in the history of the game, and there's no reason why he shouldn't be in the Hall of Fame. I had to face him, I know.
Wow. And Tom Chambers had a terrific run for us. You think about what contributions he made. He was part of the Nance trade that brought all that.
Matter of fact, in the comments down below, y'all think Tom Chambers deserved to be in the Hall of Fame? Y'all let me know in the comments.
That it brought. And the drafting of Marley and signing Tom Chambers.
Do you have any stories of him kind of complaining about that?
That's definitely true. He definitely took it as an insult if you put a white dude on him. And one example that I can remember, we were playing Phoenix Suns.
Larry Bird.
I think Cotton Fitzsimmons was their head coach, and they had a pretty good player, white dude named Tom Chambers. That could, I don't know if you guys remember him jumping over Mark Jackson when he dunked the ball.
Now, for those of you who have never seen Tom Chambers super think this 60-point game with some memories of some legends is exactly what you guys
60 in a game?
That was one of the greatest games.
Ooh, off the spin?
And it says a lot that his teammates thought enough of him and
corner tray
him to keep going to him.
We're like, oh no, he's cooking. They can't stop him. Turn around, post up, get to the rim, finishing.
I remember the game very well. When a guy gets into a rhythm and he's in a zone, it's like you're not going to miss.
More than that, you're just cheering
mid-range.
for the guy. He's a great player.
His shot,
having a moment of great.
Beautiful too.
It just seemed like his shot was going in, and when his shot was going, and he's running the floor, he's pretty much unstoppable.
You got your former guys, okay? Yeah, I got Xavier, I got Derek,
Hickey,
I got Sean Kemp, I got all these guys that were my teammates.
Post-work too, get off me. You too small, Kemp.
Players.
For Tom Chambers, as competitive a guy as he was as a player, I think he took advantage of those opportunities.
You too small
to make a point.
To me, and I said it a couple of times before, it's very unfortunate that we have so many great players that don't get the credit that they deserve. Not only in terms of that the NBA seems not to recognize those guys, but you don't find too many players talking about those guys. I'm also talking about players like Dan Marley, like Alex English, and Sidney Moncrief and those guys. It's a shame. So I wish we get more formats like NBA Open Court again, where you have legends having to speak about other players, because I think they deserve it. Anyway, you guys, leave a like if you enjoy the content. Don't forget to subscribe, and hopefully I'll see you next time on the Basketball Time Machine.
All right, man, that was a great video right there, man. NBA legends explain what a killer Tom Chambers was. Hey, man, had to shine some light on my boy Tom Chambers. A lot of people don't really talk about him. He's an underrated player. He was a hooper, though, man. 4-time All-Star, 2-time All-Team, 20K points in his career. He's a certified bucket. Was probably one of the first true stretch fours in the league. 6'10", could really do it all. Went to Phoenix and went dumb. Athletic as hell. He was catching bodies. He was a real hooper for a white guy. Man, shout out my boy Tom Chambers, man. Y'all let me know in the comments. Do he deserve to be in the Hall of Fame? 4-time All-Star, 2-time All-Team. Sound like a solid resume to me, man. Y'all let me know in the comments down below, man. If you like the reaction, hit the like button, man. Comment down below any videos y'all want me to check out next. And last but not least, subscribe, man. Young Groovy signing out. I'm going to catch y'all in the next vid.